The usual explanation for how the internet is ranked goes like this. Links are votes. More links means more importance. Important pages pass importance on. It's an easy story to understand. It's also wrong. PageRank, the name for the ranking algorithm, doesn't start by measuring importance. It starts by asking something stranger. What patterns of flow refuse to disappear? To see that clearly, we have to leave the internet behind and start somewhere else entirely. In physics, there's a concept called a normal mode. Imagine two masses connected by springs. Pull one and let go, and the motion looks messy. Energy sloshes around unpredictably. But hidden inside that motion are special patterns. In one pattern, both masses move together. In another, they move in opposition. If the system starts in one of these patterns, it stays there. The motion doesn't leak into anything else. These aren't just mathematical conveniences. They are the patterns the system's own dynamics refuse to mix away. Everything else gets scrambled, these don't. And this idea is much more general than springs. It applies to any system where something moves according to a rule. Now take a network. Nodes connected by directed links. Something is moving through it, attention, money, probability. At each step, the flow follows the links. We can write this as a simple rule. The rule is a transition matrix. It answers one question: if flow is here now, where does it go next? Now start anywhere. Put all the flow on one node. Spread it evenly. Choose something random. Then apply the rule again and again. Most patterns spread out. They interfere. They lose their shape. But one pattern survives. Not approximately. Exactly. This is the pattern that reproduces itself every time the rule is applied. In linear algebra, this is the principal eigenvector. In search, this is the PageRank vector. Think of a tangled system of pipes. Water is constantly moving. It swirls, collides, never sits still. But if you watch long enough, certain channels carry more of the flow. Not because the water piles up, but because the geometry keeps sending the flow through the same routes. PageRank is exactly this kind of pattern. Not a static score, not a vote count. It is the shape that flow settles into. Look at a tiny network. A links to B. B links back to A. C links only to B. Flow reaching C feeds into the A to B cycle and never returns. So C cannot hold flow. A and B can. Over time, C fades. A and B dominate. Not because they are better, but because the network recycles flow through them. PageRank is the dominant normal mode of the network. Real networks have traps and dead ends. PageRank fixes this by adding a small chance of jumping to a random node instead of following a link. You might think of this as a hack, a trick to keep the maths well behaved, but it's more than that. It weakly connects the entire network. Without it, you can have multiple competing patterns and multiple answers. With it, every local pattern slowly leaks. Flow is constantly re-injected elsewhere, and all competing patterns drain away. It's what forces the system to have a single answer. If PageRank were the whole story, networks would collapse into a single ranking. But real networks have structure, they have communities. A community is a group of nodes where flow mixes quickly inside, but leaks out slowly. These are nearly invariant patterns. They don't last forever, but they last a long time. In physics, these are called slow modes. This is why spectral methods work. They identify the patterns that resist mixing. The dominant invariant pattern gives you PageRank. The slow, nearly invariant patterns reveal communities. To understand a system, don't start by asking what is important. Start by asking what persists. PageRank is not a score. It is the shape that flow settles into. The dominant pattern gives you ranking. The slower patterns give you structure. And everything else is what time washes away. The algorithm isn't judging you. It's just waiting to see what survives the flow.